Hi, my name is Elle Billing. I am a chronically ill queer femme, and I'm tired. I'm here this episode and every episode to dig at the roots of our collective fatigue, explore ways to direct our care in compassionate and sustainable ways, and to harness creative expression to heal ourselves and to heal our world. Welcome to Hoorf, Radical Care in a Late Capitalist Hexscape.
My guest for this episode is Katie Bjärgvide. Katie is a woman with many faces. Offline, Katie is a deconstructing former missionary, a U.S. expat living in Sweden, a mom, and a wife. Online, Katie is a podcast host, a video editor, and the kind of content coach who equips and cheerleads her clients towards their goals. On her YouTube channel, Katie is a memory collector, a ranter, a laugher, a crier, and more awkward than she is probably aware. She loves having conversations about transformative experiences that are spiritually diverse and many levels of weird. I'm excited to have Katie on the podcast today. Welcome to Hoorf.
Hi, Katie. Welcome to Hoorf.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. It's great to have you here. This is my first interview with somebody that I met in the Find a Guest, Be a Guest collaborative. This is kind of cool.
Noise.
And I know that you've been a guest on a few podcasts that you've met through that group too. I saw your post the other day.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'm glad that we get to do this.
It's always wonderful to make new connections.
Yeah. And you, I think I found you, your post was like, I want to be on a podcast, but I don't want to have a really long intake process. And I was like, oh, I have something great for you.
Yes.
My intake form is short.
Sometimes we want to be super prepared and you have a specific audience and it has to be perfect, but I would rather make the connections without feeling like I have to fit into the box first.
Right. And I mean, I do have kind of a specific audience, and like my podcast, this podcast Hoorf is pretty niche.
But we fit each other.
We do. And my intake form is very open-ended because like I want to know what people want to talk about. Instead of saying, hey, this is what I do, come talk about my things. It's like, hey, I interview disabled, chronically ill, and neurodiverse creative people. Tell me about your thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you want to talk about? Okay, what don't you want to talk about? Is there anything I need to know about you? And then we go from there. And then I prep the questions. And this is background for people who don't know how I prep. I prep the questions and send them to you ahead of time. And then we can dialogue about them if we need to before we come on. But even then, the conversation for anybody who's ever listened sometimes goes way off the rails based on how the flow goes. But we always know ahead of time a little bit what we're going to talk about. And it's fun and it's low key and we have a good time.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. It is the morning here and it is evening where you are, but we both just had our first snow.
So crazy.
Well, it is that time of year.
Yeah.
And my dog is sitting here and she's pouting because she wants to go outside, but it's cold and wet and it made her cranky this morning. So, you are in Sweden, yes?
Yes, I am indeed. I'm not just in Sweden. I'm on an island of Sweden called Gotland.
Oh, cool. That's neat. We will get into that in just a little bit. My first question, though, I mean, official question, since I just asked you about Sweden, is how have you received care this week?
I really like that question. I was like, I don't like paying attention to how do I receive it? I don't know. But the answer that I came up with that I wanted to put as an encouragement out there is it wasn't just this week that it happened, but it still affects me to this week, is I quit playing this game that I was obsessed with, that I would play all the time. It was called Travel Town, and it was just like every few minutes I'm there. It's like, oh, things have reloaded. And I'm still just like blown away by how much time I have. So I gave myself this care to notice how much more time is available to me because I'm kind of obsessive. I'm kind of like all or nothing.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. Was it a game on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
A couple summers ago, I downloaded Merge Dragons.
Oh, I was obsessed with that one for some
Oh,
years.
yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Like, I would sit down to play for like 10 minutes. Like, I just need a little 10-minute break. I need a little dopamine fix. And then 3 hours later, I'd be like, I have done nothing except farm little hearts
Mm-hmm.
and play with dragons for 3 hours. Like, my whole afternoon is gone. Yeah, I deleted it 3 different times from my phone.
Mm.
Or like my sister also played it, but like she had much stronger boundaries around the game. She's like, yeah, I can sit down for 15 minutes and play the game and then put it away. I'm like, I can't do that.
Mm. Yeah, this was also a merge game that you had to wait for things to reload. So,
The dragon one's the same thing. Like you would run out of like time, like points or energy or whatever. Your dragons would go to sleep
mm-hmm.
and you couldn't do certain things. And so you just have to wait. And like I got to the point where I had so many dragons that I could just play for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is giving care to yourself to not need to do these things to be able to be like, oh, I really want to play right now, but I don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
And like, wow, I can actually do other things that feel good for myself in this time.
Yeah. Like at first playing for a few minutes was care because it was giving me a chance to like disconnect and just
Mm-hmm.
do a little game. But then it got, yeah, like you said, obsessive. And then it wasn't a
Yeah.
good coping strategy anymore. Cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I prep questions ahead of time, and usually I have this whole process, but we scheduled this and booked it so fast that I don't have them printed out. They're on my phone. So I'm like going back and forth between one screen and another.
I just want to say, like, you're doing a great job, and
Oh, well, thank you.
I appreciate the chill vibe of it.
Oh,
There's like
thanks.
there's comfort in just it doesn't have to be boom 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 boom, you know?
Oh yeah, we're chill here.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I have to live life is as chill as possible, which is
Mm,
difficult for me because I used to be very, very hyper driven and hyper perfectionist and like go, go, go. And I still get into that mentality sometimes, and then I pay for it later.
yeah.
Like I crash or I flare, and then I'm like, oh wait, I can't do that anymore.
That's why I have to be calmer and just do what I'm able to do and let that be enough.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of that. Like enough is good. Like that's enough is like not like enough is enough, but like enough is enough.
Yeah. But like the self-care question, how did I give myself care? I didn't expect to do too much today.
Yeah, that's so huge.
Like with all the with all we had a parenting meeting, we had all these things and I'm like I have this little bit of time and that's enough.
Hmm.
I made some shorts for YouTube and that was enough.
Yep. Yeah. Yesterday, I was telling you before we recorded, my mom and I go to physical therapy on Wednesdays. Well, our physical therapist had carpal tunnel surgery. And so she has someone filling in for her. And so we had PT on Monday the last 2 weeks, and it's just completely thrown us off. Well,
Mm.
last week I had to cancel because I had a migraine and my migraine lasted 6 days.
Oh no.
Yeah, that happens. And so that threw off my entire week because I was like sleeping as much as possible, but still trying to get things done for my mom.
Mm.
And then I finally got over the migraine, and then we had PT again on Monday. Like my whole week just feels weird because there's also a holiday this week, and trying to like you said, find those moments where like I can get a few things done, but like also my routine is thrown off. So like those pockets of time aren't where they usually are.
Mm.
And yesterday I just had to be okay with the few things I got done being enough. And they
Yeah.
were. Like everyone got fed. I picked up prescriptions. We all got a nap. It was fine.
Yeah.
Everybody showered.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
you killing it.
Yeah, well, close enough. So you have a really interesting backstory, just from the few things that I've learned about you already. So you're from the US originally.
Yes, I'm from Utah.
Okay, I used to live in Idaho, so I know the area.
Neighbors.
Yeah, I know the area. I know the culture. That makes the missionary thing seem a little like click a little more. I'm like, oh,
But I
okay.
was not a
You were
Mormon
not a Mormon
missionary.
missionary, no?
No, I was a totally different, even weirder kind of missionary.
Okay, well, why don't we talk about that then? So
Sure.
you spent a longer time then than most LDS missionaries, which is usually 2 years.
I grew up evangelical Christian, and
Okay.
they're very quick to evangelicals. Some Christians are not, but evangelicals were much more quick to say, "We're not Mormon. That's a cult." Like pot calling the kettle black there.
Yeah, especially like our generation growing up. I think from my perspective, that softened once Mitt Romney was a presidential candidate. Then
Yeah, they
then
were
like
like,
the evangelical tent kind of opened up a little bit more to say, oh no, LDS are one of us because
well, we as long as they support us in the same things, politically,
politically, yep.
yeah, we have two goals, and it's to eliminate gay marriage and abortion.
Yep. Yep. I noticed that too. I was teaching out in Idaho when he was a candidate, and I noticed the big shift, at least from the evangelicals. So you were a missionary for a long time. And then you started deconstructing at some point. So that's a pretty big shift. Do you want to
Yeah.
kind of walk us through your journey and how that happened?
Yeah. So the kind of missionary that I was an actor. We were actually traveling doing theater.
Okay.
So we would travel around and out of vans, living out of suitcases, staying in people's houses, doing plays in churches and schools and nursing homes and daycares and all kinds of places. And the deconstruction didn't start happening until I was already done with all of that.
Okay.
It was really with like Trump. That's like a
Okay.
real big starting off point, which I think a lot of other deconstructing people will probably resonate with, is wow, are these the true colors of the people that raised me, that were like telling me their values and how important it was to love. And another big part of it was my transgender brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not receive him the way I should have. I did not, I felt like if I were to, use his preferred pronouns, that I would be letting God down. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a really long journey. And it's funny how much of a difference media made in it. Like shows like Glee and different things I came across on the internet to give me the perspective
Mm-hmm.
to see like, oh, this isn't a choice. This is who people are. And then so many things, digging into history, digging into finding out that the word homosexual wasn't in the Bible until 1946.
Yeah.
Like so many things that it was just like this house of cards that had been stacked up of my faith. And it was like, okay, the Bible is supposed to be perfect and infallible. And if that's wrong, what else is wrong? And, like, hell's not real. Why did Jesus die for? Ah, who am I? What is
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
Why did I ever want to believe in hell? Why did it take me so long to accept my brother? And I have so much compassion for people going through this thing because there's so many emotions involved. There's such a anger, there's such a grief, there's such a
There
sense
is.
of just being lied to and and being complicit and like I have so much compassion for it because of just how much it hurt myself and how I see other people that feel so guilty for their complicity in being homophobic and being transphobic. And it's like, we did the best we could with what we knew, and then we got better. There's hope. If I could change, anybody can change, because I was
Mm-hmm.
such a Jesus freak.
Mm-hmm.
I even
Yeah.
wrote Jesus freak on my backpack in high school. Like,
I had some pretty out there t-shirts myself. I was sort of in between the evangelical and progressive wings. Like my
mm,
family, like I have a gay cousin, and when he came out, like my parents and we were totally cool with him. Um,
wow, nice.
yeah. My family had always voted Democrat, and most of like the really toxic parts of Christianity I had picked up from other places. There was, purity culture was really big in the
Oh
90s. And so
gosh.
like that was all around me anyway. So I like the evolution versus creationism thing, I was thankfully spared from, but there was still quite a bit of deconstructing that I did and am doing, and figuring out which pieces of the faith I grew up with I still want to hang on to. And I think deconstructing is a good word for it because it's a present progressive verb, and it's something we're always doing. And it's not just like our faith that we're, wrestling with and piecing back together. I I usually use deconstructing and reconstructing in the same sentence or in the same breath, because I'm not just taking something apart, I'm putting something back together too. Um, I forgot what I was going to say after that.
You should definitely leave this in because it's real, man.
Oh yeah. We always leave these in when I mess up.
Good.
Yeah. Ricki edits and leaves me exactly how I am.
Yay, Ricki.
Like it's deconstructing and I'm reconstructing, and that bird flew. I'm trying to backtrack.
It's just a process, yeah. Finding out who you are, like, because so much of my identity was in being the Christian who never wavered,
Right. And like wrestling is actually a huge part of faith. Like,
yeah,
figuring
like
out.
it was never meant to be this stagnant thing. It was meant to evolve, like,
right.
Getting out from under judgment and fear and whitewashing and colonizing. It's like that was meant to be a deepening of faith.
And that's the part where I am now, is like looking at the places where the church has caused the most harm and kind of and wrestling and taking stock of those things, and rebuilding something that's worth holding on to.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in Sweden, I guess? When you were a missionary, you were traveling all over, right?
Yeah. And on my 21st birthday, I came to Europe.
Okay.
And so 2 years in the States, then I came over, and after I was traveling around, mostly English speaking parts, it was in England and Ireland. Then after a year there, my husband joined. He was a fresh young Swede joining the ministry, and we became friends right away. He joined in 2009. He joined in 2008. We became a couple in 2009. We got married in 2010.
Okay. So you were doing missionary work in English-speaking countries that already...
Yeah, but then we were German-speaking and then French-speaking.
Okay.
And so I performed in German and French, too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
So you guys got married in 2010, and then you moved back to Sweden.
There was a lot of stuff in between there. We went to South Africa, got pregnant with twins, lived in Sweden for the first 6 months, went back to Covenant Players with 2 babies.
Oh,
Didn't travel as much with them, but I can't imagine doing that now.
Yeah, no kidding. So we talked a little bit before when we were prepping about being neurodivergent and having neurodivergent kids. So what is it like being neurodivergent and raising neurodivergent kids in Sweden?
Well, I have always just felt so completely different. Like I was at this parenting class today, and I was like, I still don't really see myself as a peer to anyone. They're all the much more adultier adults. And
that's a mood.
They can tell just by looking at me that I'm not a peer. I'm not the same as them.
Like I do not have my shit together at all.
No.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
The reason that I was at the parenting class is because we suspect that one of my kids especially is neurodiverse, and it's like a resource to parents to go to a class to learn some tools for how to set expectations and make work on our own emotions and model what can be best for them and figure out how to make a plan for chaos. So that's a really cool resource available over here. In Sweden, it's just so different from in America with mentality wise. Like in Sweden, it's much more you don't stick out. You don't cause a fuss. You think that you're special. Like you are in a box. And
So
yeah.
it's like a lot more homogenized.
Yeah. And like my husband was suspecting that he was neurodivergent and they and want to see if he could get some support for that. And they were like, well, yeah, it's not bad enough that you really need a diagnosis, but here's some, and they gave him like 3 classes, like 3
Mm-hmm.
things to give him tips for being organized. And I was like, well, that didn't really seem like enough.
Yeah, that sounds like my partner went in to get an ADHD evaluation and has had 2 or 3 evaluations. And they said, well, you're so smart. Like, you,
Yeah.
if you just try harder, like, this
Yeah.
shouldn't be a problem. Which is like, I'm trying as hard as I can and I'm still struggling. Like, that's the problem. This is me trying hard.
Yeah. Like Covenant Players was such a weird job because it was a culture in itself. It was a cult within a cult. It
Yeah.
was it was like you plan the schedule, you plan the plays, you're always in different people's houses. It's a very good job for neurodivergent people. There were so many of us there because it
Hmm.
was like you couldn't get bored doing just one thing. There was like so many options of things to do and so much pressure, constantly things to do. And I just feel like mentally I couldn't do a normal job. I couldn't do a 9 to 5 thing. Like I burnt myself out in Covenant Players, and I just don't think my brain is built that way to survive that kind of grind. And it makes me crazy that it's like you're expected to work 40 plus hours a week and have meaningful relationships with your family and keep the house clean and do laundry and do dishes and do shopping. I'm like,
Oh, I know. I worked as a teacher for 13 years, and there were so many times where I'd be struggling with something at work, and I'd be like, but this is the only thing I can do. Like,
mm,
there's no other job that I am equipped for, because teaching, at least there's a variety during the day and it's relationship based. And even though I'm like completely sapped of energy by the end of May, at least I have 2 months to sleep. So I can fire back up and do it all over again. And until I couldn't anymore, until I was so ill and so burned out that I went on medical leave and then stopped teaching. But it is like there is nothing else that like you said, there's no other type of job that I could do without either being completely bored and like bored out of my mind where I wouldn't stay, or burn myself out trying to
yeah.
keep up with the expectations.
And it's like, I don't want a lot of money. I just want to be able to enjoy the basics of life without thinking about them. Like
Yeah.
during COVID, I was working at a hamburger place, so American themed, ironically enough, just running around serving people their food.
Hmm.
And when COVID happened, it was so boring. We were literally cleaning the walls. And I said, "Oh, call me when you need me." And he never did. He was a weird guy. And so I took that as my time. Like now I'm going to pursue editing. Now I'm going to pursue YouTube. And
Hmm.
I had some jobs and it was okay. And I was making some money. And then all my editing jobs fell through. And so it's like, yeah, I'm working from home, not getting paid anything. This is awesome. But I would rather be able to keep doing this. Like, I feel like this is enough.
Yeah. During COVID, we switched to like remote learning. And so I was teaching using Zoom from home, and my
Mm.
migraines got significantly worse because I was on the screen so much.
Oof.
But that's when I got into painting. Like I painted, I dabbled, like I had been doing it for a couple years, but as a side hobby. But that's what I really used to cope. I
Mm.
I did a lot of painting, and that's when I really got into that. And so when it came time for me to leave Idaho and come back home, I had applied for a teaching job, and they offered it to me, and it sounded really good. And they were even creating like an art class that I could teach because they knew I was an artist. and the position only had 10 days of PTO or sick leave. I was like, I get more migraines than that in a year.
Oh.
And I was like, this job sounds really great, but I didn't think it'd be fair to them for me to take this job and then be gone and then like be sick more days than they were offering. And I was like, this job is not designed for me. Like they tried to, but it also isn't going to work. And so I said to my partner, what if I had painted? Like, what if I actually built an art business and worked from home? And like saying it out loud was like super scary. But once I said it out loud, I was like, no, I think this is possible. It's going to be really hard. And you know what? It has been really hard. But I'm glad I didn't take that teaching job because I can only work in like 2-hour bursts of time before I need a rest. And there's no way I could have been able to do a full-time teaching job with the way my brain is post burnout. It's different. Like I've always been different, but like burnout changed the way my brain works. And I can only do 2 hours, 3 tops if I really push myself. But the 3 hours at a time isn't sustainable.
And that's like about similar to me, but not because of mental or physical challenges. It's just kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky if I can pull out 3 hours to work at the library and like actually get stuff done over there.
Well, I think mom brain is its own restructuring of your brain anyway.
Yeah, I have 2 9-year-olds and an almost 3-year-old, and I'm waiting for a mom brain to, ease up a bit.
This last time my partner was here, she would sort of take over keeping an eye on my mom and making sure my mom was okay when I would have to go to work. And after one night, she's like, how do you do it? Like, my mom doesn't really have a sense of scale, right, anymore. So like a small thing happens and she goes like, really loud. And then you go running to see if she's hurt, and like she just dropped a piece of ice cream on her shirt, right? Like everything is just like startling. Oh. And so my partner was like, my nerves are fried. Because like she sneezed, but she sneezes so loud it sounds like she's screaming. And like she drops something and makes this big noise. And it's like this constant hypervigilance. It's like mom brain, but like cranked up because my mom could hurt herself.
Oh, is it dementia?
It is. Oh. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's probably why I'm so stressed all the time. In my mind, mom brain is its own form of neurodiversity.
I like that. That resonates.
Or especially unsupported mom brain, I would say. Because like if you have proper support and you have your village, or you have a partner who really like steps in and like shares the load with you, it's completely different.
Yeah, my husband's great. He does a lot.
That's good.
We're moving into a new season of him working full time, so I'm headed towards a big old transition now.
Yep. Oh, and we don't like transitions, do we?
Seriously, I've been eating the same thing for breakfast for like years and years, like, the same.
My breakfast and lunch are the same every day, just because it's easier. It's easier, it's predictable, it's safe. So you did theater, and that's how you met or theater missionary work, and that's how you met your husband. Yep. Do you still do any theater work now that you're not in that like missionary evangelical space anymore?
No, but my YouTube channel has been a huge creative outlet for me. The first creative outlet that I had after Covenant Players was pen paling.
Oh, fun.
And it was fun, and it was awesome to get mail, but then I went too far. I got obsessive, and then I was overwhelmed by it. Yep. And I had to just cut that off cold turkey and leave all those letters unanswered because it felt too much like work. And I was being like a dragon about my time, like, no, my 2-year-old twins, I don't have time for you. I must write my letters so that I can get letters.
Yeah, it's that sense of scale. It's the all or nothing. Yep.
Exactly. Oh, this brain, man. So then I got super obsessive about YouTube. But the great thing about that is that I was able to scale back when I needed to. I
Mhm.
was able to notice when it was too much and readjust the process over and over and over again to what
Mhm.
worked for me. And I mean, that's a whole journey in itself. My YouTubing, I started it in 2018 and I'm still going and
Mhm.
it's still a big way of putting my creativity out with putting the memories together, taking poetry, puzzling it with voiceover and poetic thoughts. And I also have junk journals, and that's
Oh,
a really fun thing. Are you
Mhm.
familiar with junk journals?
I am a little bit, but my listeners might not be. You want to talk about
Okay.
that a bit?
Too bad this isn't a video podcast.
Yeah.
But if you ever want to do that, but basically you just can take a book that's already there, or you can take cardboard pieces and hole punch them and put string through them and fold paper in half and hole punch that,
Yep.
it can be as easy or as complex as you want, and just gluing and cutting and just no, it doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be perfect, it's just a place to put the random bits of your life that you've held on to and don't have a place for them,
Mhm.
ticket stubs and pretty colors that you cut out of a magazine. And so that's been a really special thing. I'm actually writing a book right now, and I'm currently in my third junk journal that I'm just writing through. And I do it bullet journal style where you number the pages and then you can write an index in the beginning, and all the things that have to do with being courageous, all the page numbers go under that tab.
Yep. I've done bullet journaling, so
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen it combined with a junk journal though. That's really a neat idea.
Yeah. And my planner itself, my bullet journal itself, I remember when I realized, wait a second, I don't have to just put the lists and the overviews in here. I can also put collages in here. I make the rules.
That's one of the things I love about bullet journaling is it's like the framework is so simple, like that you can adapt it to your own style. Like
Yeah.
my bullet journal does not look like the way it's taught. But like I use the principles of it
Yeah.
to keep myself organized. Like I call my weekly list my to-do list. It's more
Nice.
triumphant than to do
I
sounds
like that.
like
I
a
might, if I
burden.
remember that, which I probably won't, if I
Yeah.
would remember it, I would steal it.
Yep, it's my to-do. I've met other people who do that, and I have a few friends who have changed what they call theirs. So
Hmm.
there's other people now who call it that, my to-do list.
Another way that I have fun with creativity is, are you familiar with ATCs?
Artist trading cards. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew I liked you. You know, all kinds of stuff that I know. Um, I started making them years ago,
Mhm.
and then as I was, walking away from all the rigidity and stuff of Christianity, I was like, wait, they all said that they were the good guys and the witches were the bad guys. Maybe I want to be a witch.
Mm.
So
I've the deconstruction to witchcraft pipeline.
I know. So, but I was like, but I don't have any money and I don't have any way and I'm not sure, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I was like, and tarot? Oh gosh, that looks way too complicated. Like 9 billion configurations. I could never learn all that. So then
Mhm.
I was like, what if I used my cards magically? And so that was a really fun thing. Same exact thing as with the junk journals, cutting and
Mhm.
gluing and putting stuff
Yep.
down and getting little plastic sleeves, like
Just like using them as oracle cards then.
yeah.
Cool.
So that's another little creative thing.
That's neat. I've seen that on Pinterest, like homemade oracle cards and things with your own artwork. That's a neat idea.
And it's free. Free 99.
If you already have the stuff, and it
I
sounds like you
mean,
have quite a lot of art materials at hand, so that's
I
good.
mean cereal boxes or pizza
Oh,
boxes, magazines, glue, scissors.
yeah,
Like it
that's a good point.
doesn't have to be professional art supplies.
That's true. We do have a lot of cereal boxes. My dad and I are both like you said, the same breakfast every day for years.
Yep.
My dad
Yep.
eats a lot of Cheerios.
We eat like a configuration of 8 different kinds of cereals.
My dad and I eat the same like 3 cereals every day. We are creatures of habit in some
Yeah.
things. Yeah. Every once in a while, we'll mix it up, but all right. I have one more question. What is one true thing that you have learned from your creative practice?
Don't think too much. Like when you're going to do something creative, you don't have to think, I have to save this picture. It's a really good one. I got to save that for the perfect page. Or like when you get a book, a notebook or whatever, like make a squiggle in it, write your name, like do something so that it's not perfect and white anymore. Like let it just be messy. Let it be you. And don't judge it as you go, because judging it is just like editing yourself in real life. Like have you ever found yourself at doing a podcast and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said it that way. And I got to rephrase that. I got to do it perfect. Like if you edit yourself as you go, you're not in the moment. You're not letting yourself just be there with the creativity. So let it be messy. Let it be you. Don't compare yourself to others. The way that you did it is perfect. Sin boldly.
Thank you. I'm definitely fussy about sketchbooks and notebooks. I think that'll resonate with a lot of people. Yay. I'm getting better about it. Like a sketchbook is a sketchbook. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I always want it to like that first page pressure is such a thing.
Yeah.
I start all my sketchbooks on the second page. And then I go back. Then I go back into the first page later.
My friend gave me this gorgeous book that's got one of those fun little hooky things to close it. And it's like in the handmade paper that's all rough, and it's leather, and it's got a stone in the middle of it. And she's like, I got you the witchiest looking one I could find. Like, ah! So it's like, that's the kind of book that sits on a shelf forever and ever because it's so special. So like the first sentence in the first page I wrote is, there, now I wrote something. Now it's no longer perfect.
Yep. Yeah, I just usually start on the second page to get over first page pressure, and then I go back to it. But I did have one sketchbook where I just scribbled on the first page to get over it, and then I was like, okay, that worked this time. All right. Well, thank you for being here. Where can we find you, like on YouTube, other social media?
Yeah. I have my YouTube, my first channel is Epic Kate, and that's where my vlogs and poetry and memories and stuff are. I also have a podcast, the Epic Kate podcast.
Okay.
And it's awesome conversations with all kinds of people, their journeys. And I also have Clearing the Creative, which is where I help people with their creative blocks.
Great.
And give them inspiration and practical advice of what they can do to move forward. My husband and I also have a podcast called Stories About Blank, where we do creative writing prompts and share them with each other and talk about that process.
Oh, fun. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
All right. I will have you send me the links to all those, and then I will put those in the show notes.
Yay.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. That was so fun.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Hoorf. To get the complete show notes and all the links mentioned on today's episode, or to get a full transcript of the episode, visit hoorfpodcast.com. Join the blessed herd of St. Winkus. By signing up for our newsletter, you can get Hoorf episodes delivered directly to your inbox. What's more, you get invitations to our monthly Coffee and Biscuits Chat, where you get to hang out with Ricki and Elle, talk about the show, and connect on the topics that mean the most to you. You can sign up for that at hoorfpodcast.com. If you become a patron for only $3 a month, you can support the creation of this podcast, help pay my editor, and join a community of caregivers out here just doing our best. Thank you again for joining me, Elle Billing, the chronically ill queer femme who is very tired, on this episode of Hoorf. Until next time, be excellent to each other. Hoorf is hosted by Elle Billing at Elle and Wink. Audio editing by Ricki Cummings at Ricki Poo. Music composed by Ricki Cummings. Hoorf is a production of Elle and Wink Art Studio LLC, all rights reserved. Hoorf can be found on all social media platforms at Hoorf Podcast, at HOORF Podcast.
sin boldly.